If you have ever tried to learn another language and you run into the problem of things not sticking, I'm using comprehensible input, it's not sticking. I'm using flashcards, it ain't sticking, Will. Well, guess what? There's one thing you are forgetting to add to your little recipe, and we got it for you today. I hope you like the analogy of you making a beautiful dish as your language learning, because there is always that dish that you try when you know the person did not cook it with love. You don't know what they added. You don't know what they forgot to put in it, but you know damn well it's missing love. That thing can happen in language learning because there is one key aspect that always ensures that you have better retention. It's not just your focus. It's not studying at the right times. It's not using the right method. That thing is emotion. It is emotion. So in the podcast, we give the analogy of what happens if someone is wailing on you, smacking you, punching you, beating the crap out of you, and you don't know the word for stop. But guess what? Somebody tells you that the magic word to make this stop is stop. You don't speak the language. You're gonna be able to remember that word. Why? Well, because it's a traumatizing experience. Heightened emotions, heightened senses. And we talked about the reasons that you need to incorporate all of your senses when you're trying to learn a language because, as Eleanor Dickey said, and if you haven't checked out our new podcast, go check that out. We've got 2 of them, 2 hours of just golden language learning knowledge. You guys can check those out. But suffice it to say, if you aren't incorporating all levels of your senses when you're trying to learn, you're going to miss out on things that are going to allow you to learn faster. And I know that's the whole thing. Everybody here watching this video wants to learn a language faster and they want it to stick. That's it. That's why you're here. All right. And so if you can incorporate this, this will help. Now, how do you do this in a more practical way? Because you can't possibly, when you're trying to learn a new language and you're not even in the country, smell Italian food, go to Italian restaurants, and that's where you learn all of your stuff. Although, once again, I hate to keep plugging all our stuff, but there's just so much good information out there. The CIA video, we did a video on the tactics and techniques and methods of the CIA, what they use, so you can check that out as well. There's all sorts of other little hacks and things like that. This one is serious and big. You need to incorporate emotion, and I'll show you why. We'll kind of build up a pathway for why this is important. Now, what this looks like in language learning is that you have to choose your emotion, the one that you're going to use. You might think, all right, I'm gonna learn about a subject that pisses me off. I hate it. Why? Because I know 100%, language after language after language, country after country after country, one of the first things you learn in those places is how to swear. You learn curse words. You are swearing up and down, all right? Me as a guy that's playing sports and moving around the world here and there, it's just, it is gonna happen, and those are gonna be the first things that come out of you without you even knowing. You're gonna see it, it's gonna happen, boom, you get hit. Now, how does that work? Because you didn't even know that you knew all those swears. You didn't know that you were gonna do that, right? Because language learning isn't about you necessarily memorizing and then placing that in this position. No, you are acquiring it. You're taking it on. You've taken on the culture. You take on the ways of being, and then it comes out of you. You have to mimic that. That's what artificial immersion is. That's what we do. We want you to elicit that emotion, all right? So when you're trying to decide to read, write, watch something, speak about something, do all this stuff, what emotion is this going to elicit? You have to choose that before you go into your comprehensible input. If you don't really care about telling someone about your day and your morning routine, because you can find that in every language, you're not gonna remember this stuff. You don't care, you don't tell anybody, and also you feel boring yourself. I brush my teeth, I eat some food, I go to work, like, you're bored by it. Why should this part of your brain that has to decide with all the complex things happening in the world know to write this and etch this into the code? It doesn't care. If you don't care, it won't care. You can make this easier by choosing what? Your favorite book, your favorite movie, and you're going, oh, that's easy. I've heard about that language device. What does it make you feel? Can you describe? Do you understand? Are you in touch with that emotion on how joyous you feel when you finally see this guy do the thing in the hero's journey and he finally wins and does this? Can you align that with how you have felt in your life? Where does this match? Because I guarantee you all of the vocab and all of the things and all of the emotions that get elicited when you see that guy go through all the trials and tribulations and go through that and then he finally wins. Have you ever gone through a struggle and finally won? Can you describe that? I'm telling you that if you can incorporate this into your comprehensible input, into the things that you're doing, it's more than just you thinking, I like this, I have an interest in this. No. What do you feel? How do you feel? Where are your heightened emotions? Where and what in your world is going to elicit that. And that's where you can kind of start to fashion in some form of study, because it's so easy for you to remember swears in another language. Number one, because they're fun. Number two, because when you stub your toe, it feels great to know exactly what to say and know you're nailing it. And you don't even care if you pronounce it right, but you remember it. You remember it easily. Why? Why can't that work everywhere else? It can. Your passions and all of these things, guys, run down those lanes first. So much in language learning, guys feel that they have to just take the whole cookie cutter approach and they just have to take whatever, I'm just gonna do this part, like it's kind of boring, I'm just gonna do it. And yes, there will be parts of that, but you have to build up momentum in language learning. There's no other way for you to get anything done truly if you're trying to bridge that gap between beginner and somebody who at least can communicate in their target practice. Another way that you can utilize this as an amazing language learning habit is to write or speak, but I prefer writing here. Everybody knows about journaling now. I've talked about writing and how important it is. Can you write and learn about things that are so intimate to you, so important to you, so deep that you don't tell people? I mean, get that diary of the 10-year-old you who would never tell anybody about that stuff. Can you write about that right now? Because when you go that deep into your psyche in trying to express yourself, you don't forget. I've done it a million times when you truly care. I mean, no one's looking. You just write it on a piece of paper, crumple it up, burn it, throw it away, just do whatever. But I mean, get in touch with that part of your psyche when you're trying to learn. It's such an incredible hack. You guys, you can remember numbers, colors, things like it's otherworldly. If you can start to incorporate this, it's such an easy thing to do. It does require your concentration, but this is no more than 15 minutes. And if you can't put in 15 minutes, like I've said many times on channel, like if you don't have an hour, if you don't have a few, if you don't then you don't actually want it. Language learning is supposed to be fun, 100%, but no one said that they have to make it fun for you. There is no perfect method, but there is a perfect method for you. So if you're trying to figure out what that is, you actually have to work. I say this all the time. We have tons of free materials, so many videos. You can check out our Substack if you want more. If you are fed up and if you are seriously ready to start learning a language, go down this route with our program. You will learn the tactics. You will learn the ideas. You will be able to then apply this to any other language that you are learning in your entire arsenal of stuff. It is there for you. But you have to take that step to saying, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna move towards my goal, and my goal is gonna move towards me. By doing that, you will do so much better, all right? Peace out.